Good morning. It is Monday, May 24th, 2021. I'm Karen from Simply Living for Him, here to do my daily devotional, my encouragement video from God's Word. I hope that these videos are a blessing to you. If they are, let me know. Share it with a friend. Subscribe to my YouTube channel. Join us in our Simply Living for Him online women's community. We'd love to see you there. So today I'm going to look at 1 Peter. There's a verse in there that many of us are familiar with us. It says, cast all your anxiety upon him, for he cares for you. But I wanted to back up a little bit because I think most of us forget the part, or we don't realize the part that comes before the casting our worries on him. So if you've ever dealt with a worry or a fear or anxiety, which I'm pretty sure 100% of you could say at some point you have, there is a key here to how we can kind of fight back with that anxiety. So in 1 Peter 5, starting in verse 6, it says, humble yourselves, therefore, under the mighty hand of God, so at the proper time he may exalt you, casting all your anxieties on him because he cares for you. So the key, to casting your anxieties upon him is to humble yourselves. Do you ever realize that worry is actually a form of pride? I've done a lot of talking on worry. I've done podcasts, I've done Bible studies, I've done videos like this on worry. And for someone like me who used to get very caught up in worry, and I still can if I'm not very careful, the key to remembering where worry comes from is actually pride, because worry says we want what we want, and we're afraid if we don't get what we want of what will happen. We're not fully trusting the Lord when we're worrying. And so when we humble ourselves and we realize that we are not in control, that God is in control, that is the key to not worrying. That is the key to casting your anxieties on him. You humble yourself, you surrender, you recognize that no matter what happens, it is for your good. No matter what happens, God is in control. God is the one determining what will happen. So when we worry, as much as we don't realize it, it's really a lot of pride, because we're not trusting the Lord and we're only wanting what we want. There are so many times that I worried about things and realized that God knew best, and that even if the thing I worried about, came true, I always saw later on that God was always working for good. So if you're a worrier, or you tend to deal with worry in your life, I want you to remember that in order to let go of worry, we must practice humility. We must be humble. It says here, humble yourselves. Like I said, most of us know that verse. We say, like, cast our cares. But how do we do that? How do we truly cast our cares? By giving up control, by humbling ourselves and realizing that we are not God. We don't want to be God, and that we trust the Lord. And then there's an important part here next that says, be sober-minded, be watchful. Your adversary, the devil, prowls around like a roaring lion, seeking someone to devour. Resist him, firm in your faith, knowing that the same kinds of suffering are being experienced by your brotherhood throughout the world. So resist him, it says here, firm in your faith. And again, you can resist the devil when you're actually operating in humility. And we have to be very careful, because worry is a huge in for the enemy, right? It says here he prowls around just looking for a weakness. And as soon as we worry, that says our eyes are off the Lord, and that says to the enemy, that's a time to attack. Because when you're not walking in faith and you're not standing firm in your faith, he's prowling around just waiting for someone to devour. We have these hawks out here. We have a hawk nest out in our trees. And that's a beautiful thing to behold, and to see these hawks flying around every morning. But it's not when you have ducks and chickens on your property, because they're prowling around for those ducks and those chickens. And the other day, it had been a few days since we heard the hawk, so I thought maybe we're safe. Maybe we can finally, let the animals out for a little bit and they can roam around, and they can be safe, not worrying about it. So we put the ducks out. Wouldn't you know it, within just a few minutes, we had these hawks swirling. The hawk landed in a tree right above the duck pen, just like this verse, just prowling, just like, you know what? You let your guard down for 1 minute, and I'm gonna fly around, and I'm gonna, threaten you. And just this morning I was thinking, wow, I haven't heard those hawks in quite a while. Maybe they're finally gone. Maybe we can kind of let our guard down. And wouldn't you know it, in just a few minutes I heard them again circling, and all their yelping and their screaming. And I thought of this verse literally, like, if you let your guard down, the enemy is swirling around, just waiting to pounce. So act in humility today. And by humility, I mean remembering that God is in control and you are not. Surrender your life to Him. Surrender your day to Him. Surrender your moment to moment to Him. Surrender everything to Him. We get very caught up when we start living too far in the future. We start wondering, what if, and what about this, and what about that? Just surrender it all to the Lord. That is the key to not worrying and to not letting the devil get a foothold in your life. Practice humility today. So I hope this encourages you. If it does, let me know. Share it with a friend, and I will see you next time. Until then, I wish you all the blessings and joy in Jesus today.